Fantasy, space art and astronomy. Artists who specialise in this style of fantasy art combine art and science in an exciting hybrid that requires skill and precise work of traditional fine art. They are combining the elements of line, shape, colour and texture to create their artwork. Knowledge of the planets, stars and the endless wonders of the universe are necessary for these fantasy space artists. NASA employs artists to create space art to help improve and understand their space programs. In this project, art and science combine together to create scenes of planets and outer space, places we will have never been to and never see. Together, we will create planets with texture, galaxies of stars, and space rock. So the very first thing that we need to do is to create our planets. And how we do that is we get a sheet of watercolour paper, like so, and with a water bottle, we just give it a light soaking, because it has to remain wet to create the texture that we want to build on it. And with my palette, I've got my palette of colours here, I'm just going to combine a varied amount of colour. There's no rhyme or reason to how I do it. We just keep applying different colours. Try not to use dark colours because your background is actually going to be black. So what we're trying to do here is create nice, bright, interesting shades. And we keep continuing this until the whole page is completely covered. Okay, so I'm going more with sort of like the oranges and yellows, because when you do see some of that work that NASA produces or their artists produce, it does have that coloration to it, which is the gases. So they use their imagination as to what colour the gases are going to be, and also our planets have certain colorations to them. When this is completely filled, and I'll take it just to there, but you should have yours completely filled with colour, you get some food wrap, just plastic food wrap, sheet of plastic food wrap, and you lie it on top. Make sure it's completely covered, and then you pinch it. So what you're doing is you're actually manipulating the wet paint underneath the plastic, and as you do that you'll actually see that it's grabbing the colour in certain areas and leaving it in others. If I just set that to the side, here's one that I did a little earlier with more colour on it, and you can see when it's completely dry and we pull that off, you've got a textured painting there, and it's layers of different colours. What we're going to do now, we're going to set that to the side, is we're going to get our sheet of black paper and we're going to create sparkly sky like this, glittery stars, and hopefully if we can get it sort of like a splash like that, it looks like a shooting comet. And quite simply how you do that is you get a bristle brush, just a very tough bristle brush, wet it ever so slightly in some water, a little bit of white paint, and with your fingers you just splatter it. You can do this with a toothbrush at home if you want to do this project. Here we were going to use our brush, and there, if you get little splashes on it, all the better. Okay, now, and that should look like a galaxy. Once you've got it to the point, don't overdo it, but once you've got it to the point that you're happy with it, set it to the side and allow it to dry. That should only take a few moments to dry. Okay, now with the painting that you have of your texture, what you're going to do now is you're going to get different shapes of circles, different sizes of circles, and you're going to cut out your planets. And here's some I did earlier. And when you've cut them out, you get different sizes. Lay them. I'm actually probably going to do that one going off on the side and then cut it so it looks like it's coming in to the galaxy. Once you've got it all laid out where you want it, any remnants that you've got here, and you can see my circles that I've cut out, you can use the scraps and actually create moon rocks. And I'm actually just going to tear rather than cut. I'm going to tear so it gives it that rugged effect. I'm just going to tear and add my moon rocks, and I'm going to overlap them, lay them down, and I'm not going to glue them until I'm absolutely satisfied with my whole layout. I'll do this here, actually, like that. Do that, like so. Once I've got that, get your glue stick and glue your planets down. Okay. Like so. Okay, like I said, I'm going to do that one I'm just going to use half of that planet, so I'm just going to put it on the side there, and when I've got it dry I'm going to trim it so it gives it a better composition. I like the balance of it though, like that way. And I'm just going to add my moon rock to it, but I'm not finished with my moon rock because I want to now add in some shadow into it, and I'm going to use a black oil pastel to do that. So as I go across, just add my moon rock. Okay, and how we do that, just get a piece of black oil pastel and just ever so lightly along your overlapped edges, just add a little bit of shadowing. Okay, so it looks like it's got craters, a little bit there. And you can do the same with your planets too, just very lightly add in, and it gives it a little bit more full. Okay. And there, if I can trim that. There we go. And then the very last thing that I want to do is I get a little piece of cardboard, very thin piece of cardboard, and I use the thin side, and if I go, I can create some exploding stars.